Right. Let's discuss all things Mike Ashley. Now, I've had to write a few things down because there's so much to unpack from this one interview. First of all, why the hell are you going to the Daily Mail? In fact, I probably already know the answer to that because it's either going to be the Daily Mail or the Sun or one of those papers that people don't respect too highly. So, and again, it's not really an interview, it's more of a statement because he never got asked the hard questions. It's never in front of the public. It's never an open forum. It's never answered a question by a true fan of the club. It's answered by a journalist who probably doesn't have any care about the club whatsoever. He's just happy to get the scoop with Mike Ashley, who the person who does like 2 interviews a year if you're lucky. Now, first one, or the first line, should I say, money first, club last. Now, you probably guess that's referring to Rafa. Um, Mike Ashley was saying that basically, in terms of the deal, he did everything he could, and he felt that Rafa was putting himself first, or the money first, and the club last, or money, Rafa, then the club. Wow. He feels that he took the soft option. He was saying that why wouldn't he want Rafa there? He would actually want him there for his own personal safety, which I did say like earlier in the season that he definitely would want him there because it makes his life so much easier. All you got to do is keep Rafa there, keeps the fans on side, season tickets come in, are plenty, and everyone's a winner basically. But again, he dropped the ball on this, no pun intended. And then when obviously we ended up with Steve Bruce. Now, I believe that in the sense that he did make Rafa an offer. Obviously, didn't make him the right offer because Rafa's now in China. Um, but all he had to do was just make sure he kept the right offer in, and that's it. He probably would have saved money rather than having to spend 20 million on Joe Linton. Now, getting into Joe Linton, apparently he was about to put 20 million of his own money in, along with the club's money. Well, I mean, yeah, judging by all of the transfers that we've done, I mean, even the deal that we've got for Joe Linton eventually is like on a 5 year layaway. Like we're paying something crazy like 7 million a year or whatever. So it's not going to be 40 million up front if everyone thinks that. Um, he said that Rafa had the mic, we didn't. Well, that's a funny one. I mean, to an extent, Rafa was in control. You know that the fans want you. You're a popular choice. Um, I do believe that a deal was made to him. Obviously, again, as I said, the wrong one. So Rafa did have the mic, but again, it's for us to keep him there, and well, not us, Mike Ashley to keep him there, and obviously, effectively, he failed. Right, getting into the more juicier bits. 1 billion to compete. Now, this is the same kind of regurgitated line that he's been using for a while now. Oh, we can't compete with your Man Cities and all the rest of it. Look, we know we can't compete with Man City. No, they're the only club to spend £1 billion. Sheikh Mansour spent 1 billion and some odd pounds to win pretty much everything, barring the Champions League. We know we can't do that. We know that. But you got teams like Bournemouth, Watford's, who are spending not even half that, and they're competing more than us. And we've got a better stadium than them, bigger fan base than them. Essentially, we had a bigger manager than them. Obviously, now Rafa's gone. We don't have that, I don't think. But yet, we can't compete with them. It's even teams that are coming up now, your Sheffield United, Aston Villa have spent a plenty as well. And we've just spent 40 million on one player. So that's a whole myth, the whole 1 billion thing. He then goes on to Spurs sponsorship money. And again, that's been brilliantly broken down online. You can research that yourself, but just to put in a snapshot, 12 years ago when he took over the club, we was on a similar keel, let's say. Spurs weren't the Spurs that they are now. They weren't contending for third place. We weren't, mid-table fodder, if you like. We've even had a season during that 12 years where we finished fifth, and I don't know where Spurs finished, but I'm sure it wasn't higher than us. And now, Spurs have just signed a new deal with their sponsor, AIA, and we're just struggling for change in terms of what we're getting from Fonate, who are a good sponsor, don't get me wrong, but nothing in comparison to what Spurs are getting. So, yeah, you can keep using that all day long, that Spurs link, but again, we all know that he wanted to buy Spurs before us. And Spurs fans, if you're watching this, trust me, you've dodged a massive bullet there. You could have had him in charge, and you definitely wouldn't have been getting to no Champions League final last season. That's for sure. What else we got on the move? So yeah, Benitez moved for money. Yeah, I said that before. Surprised with the Bruce backlash. I mean, I don't know why. Why you surprised, bro? Anyone, like, you don't even need to be a major footballing man, but if you know half about football, then you know that Benitez's name is highly regarded within the footballing industry. Steve Bruce, on the other hand, is not. Anyone who's managed two sets of rival clubs and then now a third set with Sunderland and Newcastle, that just goes to show. And then furthermore, he obviously walked out on his club. I mean, that's still got to be solved as well. To then join us, he's lost all credibility. So I don't know why you are rubbing your head about the whole backlash issue with Steve Bruce. What else we got? 600 million. What was that? 600 million tax bill. Yeah. So in terms of timing, this is gonna come out at worst time. Well, for him anyway. I mean, basically he's hit with a 600 million tax bill, as I was just reading off my notes there. So Sports Direct have been very naughty boys, and they could be losing a hell of a lot of money. And I think he's trying to do damage limitation with this, trying to get people on side. And he's even said himself that his PR has been terrible. And I've said that before. This is the reason why he's given the outside of a stadium a lick of paint and spending 40 million on a striker that nobody's heard of. And if you're going to be happy with that, Newcastle United fans, you need to give your head a shake. I'm sorry, but this is 12 years too late. This should be standard procedure. And that's not just me feeling entitled. That's just like, basically, if you want to improve your business, if you're treating a club like a business, which you are, then this should be standard procedure. You should be competing with these sort of players. I've even suggested myself we probably could have gone for cheaper options. We could have gone for Rondon and spent half that and still been happy. None of us said, oh yes, we wanted Joe Linton. Yes, we've got him, fair play. But if we got Rondon and kept Rafa, you could have saved money. And I'm sure Mike actually loves saving money. I know he does. And also with the season ticket thing as well, I'm sure season tickets are not what they were last season or the season before that. Rumours of that they're only going to be 40,000 at the game for the Arsenal game. And I know that still sounds like a massive number, but considering we always hear the number 52 or 55,000 fans banded around, to lose a good 10 or so thousand fans based on your actions this season, this summer, it just goes to show that he needs to do damage limitation as well. Apparently there was a 20 million pledge for training facilities. Heard that one before. That famous paddling pool picture is still living on in Newcastle fans' minds. If he does do something to the training facilities, fair play. It's not something that's going to affect fans, but again, it's more of a draw, I would say, for players to say that these guys are serious. They take their training facilities off the pitch serious. So again, if he does anything to that, fair play, but at the same time he's got a hell of a lot of making up to do. And then the last two, talks of 8-year contracts. We all know who got an 8-year contract. Alan Pardew apparently was offered an 8-year contract. Rafa, or no, it was floated. The idea was floated within a meeting. That was the term I believe I saw. Mate, you don't leave someone like Rafa Benitez's contract up to the final, pretty much couple of days of it due to expire, and you're talking about I floated an 8-year contract. Get it done and dusted. You know the contract's going to come to an end. You certainly know when players' contracts come to an end, because getting onto other players' contracts, Iosi Perez apparently come up with another article similar on the same day, talking about I wish I got more for Iosi Perez. I wish I put a higher transfer clause. And to be honest, probably should have. With the amount of money that's getting floated about now, £30 million, even though we got him for a tenth of that, we could have got easily 40, 45. I don't even think he probably would have left if Rafa stayed. So all in all, this whole Martin Samuel, Mike Ashley interview is an interesting one. It's left fans probably more aggrieved, and the ones that were probably getting at me saying, I'm too negative and all the rest of it, and now probably going back into their cave thinking, hold on a minute, he's probably got a point here. And I did have a point. Do you know what I mean? The fact that you can't cover over, you can't paper over these cracks. Do you know what I mean? You still need to, improve the training facilities. You still need to. Well, you're not going to get a better manager than Bruce. He's here now. You still need to get better players, that's for sure, because we've had like 6 leave and 1 come in. So I'm not getting gassed over that. You can keep tweeting as much as you want about Joe Linton, as much as you want, but it's still not gonna. It's not gonna paper over the fact that we still need a couple more strikers, another right wing, a right winger maybe, a right back for sure, a left back for sure, another central midfielder. We need all of that. And again, just all the lies as well, man. If you're going to do a proper interview, Mike Ashley, do it properly. Do it open forum. Do it with someone that we trust as fans. Do it with, like, I don't know, maybe Shearer, Jake Humphreys, who's from BT Sport. He said that he's now speaking to Keith Bishop's agency. Potentially he could do one, and he seems to be one that actually gets it. I don't want to see interviews with people that are your yes people that you've probably paid off to say, look, put it out via you, because we know full well we have our own thoughts and minds and processes that we don't trust these certain people that you're talking to. When the news first broke out about this takeover, it broke through the Sun. None of us, well, none of my Newcastle United friends read the Sun, and none of them read the Daily Mail. So again, with this, both stories that broke via 2, let's say, unfavourable papers, it's not going to work. It's just simply not going to work. Again, a lot of work to do. He's probably done himself no favours there whatsoever, because even the journalists that were kind of trying to be unbiased are still picking holes in this whole argument whatsoever. Get yourself a proper interview, a proper sit down with the fans, i.e. your customers, i.e. the ones that you want to buy season tickets, shirt sales, and keep coming back again and again, because otherwise you're going to lose us altogether. And with that £600 million tax bill hanging over your head, you need to do what's right by this club and by your customers. Otherwise, it's going to be tits off you. Anyway, that's enough from me. I feel better for that already. Take care. See you all soon. Keep it tuned.